yeah. Man, I felt your energy. Wasn't used to being loved and treated differently, yeah. But something went wrong, the signals got crossed, and now we're on completely different pages. Let's go where we were, where no one gets hurt. Baby, keep it right there, don't you stress the flow. You're trying to pick the pace up, we should take it slow. Baby, keep your focus, don't you make me change my mind. If you love me, baby, don't you switch up the vibe. Baby, don't you, baby, don't you, baby, don't you switch up the vibe. Baby, don't you, baby, don't you, baby, don't you switch up the vibe. Boy, you take me on a trip, always up and down and back and forth in merry-go-round. I just wanna get it right, but when you go left, I'm stuck here feeling left behind. Cause something went wrong, the signals got crossed, and now we're going different directions. Let's go where we were, when no one gets hurt. Baby, keep it right there, don't you stress the flow. You're trying to pick the pace up.
And hi everyone.
Hey everybody.
I would just say at the top end for those watching this, I am feeling very, very rough today, like super duper ill. So if my energy is not the same, don't start getting worried thinking, oh, is Bianca with a narcissist? No, Bianca's ill. That's the reason why I've got my top form today. So
I'm feeling very, very emotional. I don't know what is going on today, B. Must be something in the air, but I have not stopped crying. I have not stopped crying today. So I don't know what is going on, but hopefully this chat will make us feel better.
Yeah, exactly. And, what a downer we're starting a chat about heartbreak on. I'm ill, you've been crying all day. I mean, the thing is, they are actually symptoms of heartbreak. It's true. I mean, I definitely can say that when I ended, I would say the longest term relationship with a narcissist was a family member of mine. And to be honest, you do feel a number of those things anyway, don't you? You feel sick, you feel emotional about it. There's so many things you feel angry. And we're going to discuss quite a few of them today. Now, today, obviously, we've got the topic is about coping with heartbreak. We'd love to hear any ways that you've coped with heartbreak as well, particularly if you've been in a narcissistic relationship. But at the top end, before we just go in, because we always do this, just start talking without introducing ourselves. So my name is Bianca. I'm a business and personal development coach. I'm also a huge advocate for raising awareness on narcissistic abuse due to the narcissistic relationship that I had with family members and partners. To be honest, I've come across narcissists in every area of life, but actually coming to the point where I decided I wanted nothing to do with any narcissist again ever in life, really put me in a place of, I would say, shock, disbelief, total dismay, and led to me researching and studying a lot on narcissism, which was very, very helpful for me. And I always thought, if I get through this, because you do definitely think if I get through this, then I want to help other people. And so that's why I do this show with Aynur every Monday. And you want to introduce yourself, eh?
Yeah, so hi everybody, my name is Aynur. I'm a life and narcissistic recovery coach. And just like Bianca, I guess my journey started off with also being a victim of a survivor, I like to say actually, of narcissistic abuse. I was in 2 really long-term narcissistic relationships, and it's only when I stopped and took a break and really understood what it was and educated myself, that I wanted to share how I healed and how I got over it, and you know, how I rebuilt myself again with other people. So that's what I do now. I help people kind of rebuild their lives after coming out those abusive relationships.
You do, and you do it very well. So well done to you, my dear. We've been doing this for a while now, guys. Obviously, we've been on YouTube for over a month, so we've got past 1 month on YouTube. Staying consistent. I mean, today was touch and go. In all honesty, I was going to bail out, and I just thought, you know what, don't do it, Bianca, because this is so important to me. I'm being so honest with you. This was any area of my business, any other area of my business, either of my businesses, I would have just cancelled, because I just don't do things when I'm ill. But like, this is so crucial. And I was just thinking to myself before I came on, look, if there is someone going through heartbreak now after having been going out of a narcissist, and they've been watching us and they're relying on us to show up tonight, there's no way I can't not show up, because I know how devastating that time was for me, you know. So yeah, I had to come on, and I know the same for you as well, A. Do you get what I mean?
Thank you so much, B. Couldn't have done it without you here.
Thank you. I know, like, let down Aynur. I'm literally, that would have been the last straw for you, say. You'd have been like, right, I'm done. I'm literally done.
They're crying, like, no.
Exactly. But you know what? When I was thinking about this topic, A, because, like, you know, there's normal heartbreak, and then there's breaking up with a narcissist, and the kind of angle I wanted to go at this from was why it is so hard to break up with a narcissist. Because if you say, if like you break up with a narcissist, but you've had previous breakups before, the breakup with a narcissist feels a million times worse. And I don't think people really think about why that is. So I thought today we could go through a few reasons why that is, because it's so bad. Even if it's like breaking up with a family member, relationship, whatever it is, it feels so awful that it really has you questioning whether you've made the right decision or not, because nothing in your life has ever felt so awful. It's bad to say, but I've lost before family members who I adore, and nothing has destroyed me more than leaving a relationship with a narcissist. And that's actually, it's crazy to say, because there's no way in hell I love those narcissists more than those family members. But the level of bond that there is there, and the tie that you have, that toxic tie, is so strong that literally it shatters everything about you. So it's not only like you've lost that person, you've lost yourself in that breakup. And so the devastation was huge.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest thing, B, because you also lose yourself. You lose the person you love. You know, the trauma bond is so strong. It is honestly so many things in one. It is so many things you have to tackle. It is so many things you have to overcome. It is heartbreak is hard enough.
Yeah.
Right. And then, you know, there's dealing with the stress of worrying what's going to happen. There's dealing with hoovering. There's dealing with, you know, because you're so trauma bonded, even that person moving on, maybe, even if they don't hoover, that person moving on, your safety, you know, there's so many things with a narcissist that don't happen with normal breakups, with healthy breakups. It is so much that you're dealing with at one time. And I feel it's impossible to do it by yourself. There are probably women and men that do it on yourself. But honestly, if anyone is going through that now, like straight off the bat, get support, get help, like do whatever you can, reach out, like to me, Bianca, Refuge, whatever you need to do. It is really extremely hard to do it by yourself, and to keep no contact, and to stay away from this person. It is, you know, it is a lot, but it is not impossible. You do the other end, you know, it's hard, but it's doable because people do it every day. You know, me and Bianca are examples. There's so many women and men around the world that have overcome this. It's made them stronger. So we're saying it's hard so we can be really real with you, but also we want to show you that it's doable, that
Yeah.
you can overcome this and you'll be stronger afterwards. So
yeah. So there's just a few points really, I guess we're going to go through today, like maybe 10 points to kind of, for you to know, they're just 10 things for you to know, like in terms of breaking up. Now, I think the first thing I think is important for me to say is that if you've broken up with a narcissist, it's okay if you simultaneously hate them and are madly in love with them when you've broken up with them. That's okay and it's normal, okay? Because it's so frustrating in the beginning, and especially if no one says to you, yeah, that's okay and it's normal. You just feel so angry at yourself because all you've got in front of you is a list of crappy things that have happened and bad situations, and you actually miss them. You actually miss them. And it is infuriating because they have literally ruined your life and now probably going on to ruin somebody else's life. And maybe they're still trying to ruin your life. And you're just trying to get on with your life. And not only do you have to deal with finally accepting all of the betrayal, simultaneously as you're accepting, yeah, this did happen. Yeah, that was bad. You're also like struck with the stark reality, you still love that person. You still love that person. And so I would say be kind to yourself with that, because if you get stuck in the anger of that and the frustration of that, it's almost like it could be a trigger for you to go back. You could be so angry that you think, I'm not making this a waste of my time. I'm going back to do this again. Do you get me? And I'm going to make it work this time. So it's like, I say, firstly, it's okay. It's okay to do that. And actually, like a reason why it's so, you feel so drawn to that person is because, in all honesty, you probably have nothing going for you right now, really, other than them. Now, it's not to say that you might not have a good job or you might not have people around you, but actually you can't take advantage of any of those things in the same way that you did before. You don't like your job anymore. You don't even like anyone really around you because you don't even know what you like and don't like. So anyone that you do have around you is of no use to you in terms of emotionally. Doesn't make you feel any better to have loads of people rally around you, unfortunately. It also doesn't make you feel any better to be alone. Nothing actually makes you feel any better. And whilst you're being really strong here and trying to move on, you know, even though it's only temporarily, that if you were to see that person briefly, you would feel okay for a moment. You know that. And it's also like, you're also having to fight your own self-hate as well. Do you get what I mean? That you stupid girl, do you get what I mean? Whatever it is. Do you get what I'm saying? You're having to deal with your own regrets at the same time. So like those things make it very heavy. I think, to kind of deal with heartbreak when you're broken up with a narcissist.
Very difficult, B. It is. It's very, very difficult. And I think that self-blame, you know, it can get to you because you've been conditioned now, you know, to think everything is your fault, to blame yourself, to think you're the problem. You know, you've been conditioned in this way. So I think, again, in that stage, off the back of what you said, it's almost trying to detach your emotions from reality. You know, what really happened in this relationship? You know, what were their actions? You know, look at their actions and what were they really doing? And just trying to detach emotion away from that. I know it's really, really hard. You know, it's so hard. But at the same time, I think there's techniques you can do to do that, to detach and really look at the actions of that person. And there's things you can do in that time to make the situation better, because all those things you said is correct. You know, you blame yourself, you want to go back so badly because the pain is unbearable, you know. And again, it's that quick fix. It's almost like that hit. It's like that drug addiction, you know. But you know, once you go back, somewhere in the back of your mind, you know, once you go back, you're probably never getting out again, or it's going to be a very long time. You're going to regret it, you know. It will make, like Bianca said, it will make you feel better for maybe a day, 5 minutes, different for everybody. But after that, you will regret the decision to go back. And I think it's constantly reminding yourself that, especially if you're trying to do no contact, you know, it's hard. But you have to remind yourself, that's why there's techniques that you can use, there's things you can do. And that's why I always say it's so important to find a network, to find people that have experienced this, to have a therapist, to have a coach, because they will give you techniques and things to do in that period to get you through that initial, I would say maybe 6 month, year stage where it's so hard and it's so easy to go back.
Yeah.
But though I think that is the hardest time, that first couple of months, that first 6 months, the year, it's
yeah, because you know what, really you're still going through those stages, like, you know, there's the whole stages of grief, and it is like that, breaking up with someone, and it's like that whole 6 months to a year you could kind of spend going in and out of denial phase as well, because even though you know something is going on, you just don't want to believe that. Like, who wants to believe that? Who wants to believe that they fell in love with a narcissist? It's not like Beauty and the fucking Beast. Do you get what I mean? Like, we're not playing no games. Like, we're human beings. We never thought we was going out with a beast in the first place. Like, you know, it's insane, and you can't fathom it. You can't fathom how you can show up so real in a situation and so genuine, and the whole time, not like, oh, from a certain point in your relationship, from the first day that person met you, there was a plan to totally destroy your life, to strip you of every single thing that you had to offer, whether that was kindness, whether it was finance, whether it was a place to stay, whether it was sex, whether it was children, whatever it was. They had a plan from the first day they met you. This is what I'm going to do, and a way they were going to go around that. Do you get what I'm saying? So to get to it, when you break up with a narcissist, it's not like, oh, you're going out with a normal person and then they cheat on you and then you break up and you go, oh, but you know what? We had 6 good years and now they've cheated on me. No, when you've gone out with a narcissist, you understand the whole thing was a setup. So you start tracing back, and then you're like, why didn't I see that? Do you get what I mean? So there's a lot of denial that goes on that stops us from being able to kind of move forward. But at the end of the day, it's a normal part of the grief as well. Should we have a look at some of the comments?
Yeah.
Let's have a look and see what we've got going on. Okay, so Lily Gray said, thank you for this. I've just divorced my husband, who is a narcissist, and has been having an affair for the last 4 years of our marriage. We have 1 baby together. The heartbreak is so real. So sorry. I mean, you know what? I just have no words for these people. I just have no word. Like, who even does this? Do you get what I mean? It's so, you know what? I don't know if there'll ever be a time in life where I hear something and I'm just like, I don't know, not absolutely disgusted by it. Do you get what I mean? And the thing is, the heartbreak is real. Like, you know, you have a child with someone, and then even that is even more. It's like, okay, so now this person's going to be around what, forever? Now you have to put up with them. Now you have to think to yourself, oh, now my child's father is a narcissist.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And what does that mean? Who knows how to cope with that situation? You know, and I think, you know what, I'm just so glad that we come on here and speak about this sometimes. It's so devastating. It's such a devastating situation. And when you don't see anyone who looks like you or sounds like you having gone through these situations, you just think, oh, it must be because I'm just literally, that's all I'm worth. Do you get what I mean? If that's all you kind of have experienced in your life as well, you just get to a point where you just think, maybe I don't deserve any better than that. Because you don't, it's like, even though you know they're a narcissist, there's something in our human mind that just can't go to that full extent. And I understand they're so bad. Like,
yeah, I think I always Oh, Lily Gray said, I still don't believe it. I didn't know he was capable of this and how he doesn't care at all. Yeah, I always say, B, it's like, it's one thing, someone telling you this person's a narcissist, they're a cheater, here's all the signs. And it's another thing, you believe in it. You truly believe in it in your heart. You knowing that and believing it. And I think once you start to believe that this person, what they really are at the core and who they are and what they did, I think that gives you the strength to move on and do better, and it gives you the strength to really fight for your life and for your child's life as well. And you know, I think not believing it is so normal. You know, I can remember not understanding how this person can be so completely different, two sides, you know, an amazing side, someone that's perfect, someone that is so loving, so caring when they want to be, when there's something in it for them, and someone that is the most narcissistic, horrible human I've ever met in my life. Like, it didn't make sense in my mind, you know, and I think, again, that's part of the trauma bond. You know, you're so up and down, your hormones are so up and down, you don't know what's right and wrong, you don't know, you're so confused. And I was like that for a very long time. I didn't believe it. I was so confused. I was like, so what is he? Is he this side or is he that side?
Yeah,
you know, it's very, very difficult.
There's so much of that. Like, I remember a friend of mine when she broke up with a narcissistic like ex as well, and she was like, you know, yeah, the narcissistic side of him. And I'm like, no, not the narcissistic side of him. He is just a narcissist. The other side that you saw was a side that he used to manipulate you. That's what it was. It wasn't like, oh, he turned into a narcissist at midnight. No. What you're calling the nice side is just used to manipulate you, and the actual other side you see that's just totally disgraceful, that's who he actually is. It's like the Joker. And you know what? You know, every narcissist, every single narcissist that I have known has loved that film, The Joker. Every one of them. And the Joker is the narcissist of all narcissists, basically. That's exactly what the Joker is, even the face. Do you get what I mean?
It's the last film I went to see with him.
Yeah, I love it. It's like their idol. Do you get what I mean? Like, if they could, they'd probably have a statue of the Joker in their house. Like, the thing is, I think it's that whole bit, because you know what as well, it's so difficult. Because if you look at like infidelity, for instance, in a normal relationship, I don't think that everybody cheats as a narcissist. To be honest, I don't. But I do think that every narcissist cheats. Do you get what I'm saying? So there's a difference, like, the way around. But if you were in a normal relationship and someone, you know, cheated, I know people who've been in a relationship like that and they were cheated on once and they managed to get through it, and the person was remorseful when they went to counselling, and there was a lot of, you know, changes put in place, and they got over it and it was fine. But that isn't what it is with a narcissist. But the problem is when you look at what's out there, everyone's like, oh yeah, these things happen. Do you get what I mean? Sometimes you have to, you know, ride over these things and stuff like that. And it's like, when you look at narcissistic behavior, a lot of it is excused in society, especially if you're in long-term relationships. And it's like, no, you shouldn't do that no matter what. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, I'm really sorry that happened. And every week I feel like we're just constantly, you know, having to like hear more and more stories where people are just, what I love about the stories we're hearing is, yes, people are heartbroken, but like, everyone's had enough. Just like the woman in the chat today, like, no one's having it. And you know what? That I have so much admiration for people who go for it, because it literally is like, it's like making a choice to break your own heart. Do you get what I mean? The last bit of it that you have left, the last bit that they didn't shatter, you leaving is you going, okay, shatter that bit as well. Do you get what I mean? And it's literally like, you're in pieces now, and one by one you're having to pick yourself like back up again. But honestly, the person you come back as from this, oh my God, how you love her, how you love that person, because she is not going to play around. I'm not saying that narcissists won't approach this new you, but the way you would deal with these people, oh Lord, It literally is like you become like light is to a vampire. Do you get what I mean? Like every time they see you, it's like they disintegrate and fly off scared. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Nasty
Everyone in your life, the way your life will change once you start that healing journey, once you start really getting to know yourself, once you start exploring yourself, once you start setting those boundaries, healing what got you there in the first place, you know, asking yourself those questions. How did I get here in the first place? How did I meet this person? What made me stay with this person? You know, really getting to the bottom of those answers, healing those wounds. Once you do that and you're on your healing journey, honestly, Lily, I know it doesn't feel like it's ever gonna get better, and you feel like it's never gonna feel better, but I promise you it will. And once you get on that healing journey, honestly, you will be a change. It's like, you know, I'm thankful for my experience now, Bianca. I can honestly say I'm thankful because I now, you know, have a whole different, I respect myself. I have boundaries. I know how to look after myself now. I understand how I got in that position and how I'll never put myself in that position, how I'll never let anybody disrespect me again, you know. And I think that would have only happened because I went through that. You know, I would have got to this position only by going through what I went through. So,
and anyone watching as well, and like, whoever's watching live, like, make sure you go and watch our other videos that we have on here, and make sure you subscribe to the channel because we come live like every Monday. If you have any questions as well, like, you can pop them in the comment section of the video, so not in this chat bit, but in the comments, and we'll try to answer them live next week as well. But I think that, you know, the other things I guess I want people to know about this heartbreak bit is that you have to be really, really easy on yourself, you know, because I'm like I've been super ambitious from young, right? But when I say to you, there was a point, where I was writing down on a piece of paper, on my to-do list was get out of bed, get in the shower, eat something. Do you get what I mean? And go for a walk. That was it. And when I say it was a struggle to get through that list of things, but I was kept on getting through it. Do you get what I mean? And some days I would get through 2 of them, and some days I would get through none. I just couldn't move. Do you get what I mean? But you know, over time, you keep on setting yourself these goals, and don't downplay how much of a big thing it is when you have been stripped of your whole identity. Get up, get in the shower, and have something to eat. It's huge. It's huge.
And
you're feeding your child right now. It's huge. Do you know what I mean?
If that's all you did that day, I'm so proud of you. Oh my goodness. I know that feeling of like, that's all you can do, you know, and it's a big thing. It's a big achievement, and just add a little bit every day, you know, even if the next day is, okay, today I'm going to get up and I'm going to, I don't know, fold my clothes. I'm going to do some ironing. I'm going to walk to the park. I'm going to just add a tiny bit every single day. And honestly, time is a big thing as well, Bianca, because everything seems bad at the start. You know, everything is falling apart. I've got nothing now. How am I going to survive? So many what ifs in your head. You know, what if this happens? What if that happens? What am I going to do this? What am I going to do that? Like, each day, take things slow, get the support you need. You know, add a little bit to your list every single day. Things will sort themselves out. You know, as long as you're away from that situation, you're in a safe space. That's all that matters. And everything else will work itself out. Slowly, get the help you need. Things will work itself out. It's like, again, being kind to yourself is really, really important at the start. You know,
another thing as well, I think, is important for people to understand. Like, you know, if you're watching this on behalf of a friend, even that's like dealing with heartbreak for a narcissist, and you're thinking, why is it so hard? You never get any closure as well. So some of the thing that makes it easy for you to kind of move on in a normal relationship is that you have closure. You both say it's not working out. You both say why it didn't work out. You both say how you feel about that. You both say, I love you, but we're not compatible. Do you get what I'm saying? You both say that. With a narcissist, you're going to get nothing. And if you get anything, what it will be is a barrage of complaints and a list of things that you have done to deserve this. Do you get what I'm saying? You have done to cause the demise of the relationship. You done to cause them to shout at you, hit you, manipulate you, cheat, whatever it was, it's all going to be your fault if you get anything at all, but you won't get closure. So when something's not closed, it's like, then how do you start to heal? You have to give up the need to have closure from this person and accept the lack of them giving you closure as the biggest closure of all. How little respect they are showing in not even giving you proper closure. Do you know, I know people who have been cheated on by narcissists, have seen them cheating or seen evidence of them cheating, and all they wanted this closure was an admission, and they won't admit it. They won't admit it. They won't do anything to close the door. They won't do anything to make it easy for you to move on in terms of in a decent way. But I tell you what they do. They do a list of disgraceful things that, if you really choose to fully accept that they've done those things, will make it easier for you to move on, because they really did do that. They really are the type of person that won't give you closure. They really did manipulate you. They really did use you for everything that you had. They really didn't care. They stripped you of who you were, and then had the cheek to turn around to you and say, oh, but you've changed, and that's why I'm not interested anymore. Yeah. They'll do all of that to you. So it's like, and all they'll do when you go back for closure, they hold closure like a carrot. Do you get what I mean? Like dangling it, like, oh, okay, we can have closure. And they'll keep you going back and forward. And like, if you put your foot down and start speaking to them, they'll say, do you know what? I want to talk. You do deserve closure. Let's talk. They meet up with you. You think you're having a conversation about closure, and all of a sudden you'll get more things thrown at you that you did. And then they'll say, do you know what? I don't even know why you came here. Like, I don't know why you're here. I don't know why we're doing this. And it's like, well, you wasn't going to speak to them, but you only spoke to them because you thought you were getting closure. And now you're not getting closure again. And now you're back to square one. So it literally is like really difficult when people refuse to acknowledge what they have done. And the thing is, you know what? People are really harsh on people who have been in narcissistic relationships, because and even before I'd been in one, or I'd noticed that I'd been in one for my whole life, I used to be quite harsh and not understanding of I'm looking at my friends who I didn't know they were going out with narcissists at the time, but going out with some real effed up people, and I'm looking at them like, why do you need closure? He cheated on you 10 times. He hit you. He stole all your money. Like, what do you want from this guy? But you know what? You know what it is? They've done so much to you. You just think the very least I deserve is for you to admit that you've done this. But I am not crazy. You are a bad person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just admit it. And they won't.
Yeah, they will never admit. Never. You can be there all day, all night. You could have stayed there 100 years with them. They will never admit. It's all about control. It's all about manipulation. You know, they will gaslight you into believing that it's all you. You know, they did nothing. You made them act like this. You know, how many times have I heard that? You made me do this. You made me act like that. You know, they'll gaslight you. There is so much to it that people really need to educate themselves and get into it and understand what these people are really like. And I think that's when you start to believe it. When you get deep into the education, I can see Lily said she's never heard of the trauma bond. And honestly, Lily, go and research it. Because that's when you really start to understand what these people are like. And that's when you really start to believe it as well, because they will do all sorts. Like it is beyond what you can comprehend, because you're not that type of person. You know, you love with your whole heart. You know, you're a genuine, kind person that just wants to be loved, that wants to be in a loving relationship. But when you meet someone like that, where all they care about is themselves, all they care about is what they can gain, what they can get from the relationship. You know, it is all about control. And if you do go back for closure, they will try to either have sex with you, they'll try to get you back into that relationship, they will try to, something for them, it won't be for you. So that's why, you know, no contact is so important. It's like, there's not even much point trying to even have a conversation, you know. It's like, there is literally no, you can be, trust me, I've been outside in the car for days trying to have a conversation, and it's got me absolutely nowhere. They will, you know, it will never work. So the best thing you can ever do is go completely no contact, block them. If you're co-parenting, you know, have very minimal contact with this person, even through email, text message. Don't even pick up the phone. You know, it is. Yeah, you will never get them to admit anything ever.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as well, I'm definitely going to answer this question, and then I think we're going to wrap up for the day. But I also want to say as well, I don't know if you can see it on here, but my Instagram handle is Bianca _life coach _Boyce, and Aynur's is at Found My Crown. We have loads of videos on there as well.
Yeah.
Lily, go and subscribe on there. We've spoken about Trauma Bond on there as well too, and just a bit about our journey. So yeah, you can see our
there's loads of information. Yeah.
But, so there's a comment. Okay, so even when her mum found out he was cheating, he told her mum is crazy. Yeah, these guys. I can't even. And cut her mum off. Cut her mum off. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Do you get what I mean? But the thing is, people do. People do. I think you're a very impressive woman, Lily, and I know you might not feel like it, but believe me, you don't know how many people have cut off their parents and their children because of these people, right? And so there's a question as well. Do you think he will change? No.
Absolutely not. Never. And you don't want to waste time finding out. He
No.
won't, but don't waste another second of your precious life, of your precious time trying to even work it out or find out, because the answer is no.
Yeah. No. And you know what? And what would it cost you? Imagine how dangerous it is to be with someone who, in order to save their own neck from cheating, would have you completely disown your mum. Imagine the danger of that, being with someone like that. It's very, very scary.
Very scary. You don't want to go back and find out. Yeah, it will cost you a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, the answer to that is no, never. They never, ever change. Trust me. Take it from someone that gave chances and chances and chances. And my one regret was, I wish the first time I saw that red flag, I ran and I never came back, you know. That is my only thing. I wish I knew all this sooner. I wish I didn't give chances. And now, that being the person I am, Bianca, I will never ever, as soon as I see the first thing, I'm out. I do not waste my time at all. I don't give chances. As soon as I see anything narcissistic, anything of that behavior, I've studied it for a very long time, so I know. I don't waste time anymore, and neither should you, Lily, at all.
Yeah. And you know, sometimes I really wish, and I'm going to bring out, because I was writing a lot in that time, and I'm gonna bring out like just inserts of like different diary entries that I had of like ups and downs of it. And I wish that I had a recording of myself then that I could sometimes put up so that people can see the huge transition in it. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's like I was such a different person, and I think, like, do not fall into the trap of believing like you will never ever be the same, or you'll never get back to being in a better place, because you so will. But it literally is like, you know what? It's not like that type of process. When I've had breakups before, it's been like that. Whereas when it was ending narcissistic relationship, it was like that, and then boom, here we are. Do you get what I'm saying? It was just like one day I was like, oh, I didn't think about anything. Oh, I didn't think that granny was sent out to kill me today. That's good. Do you get what I mean? I didn't think that child had a shotgun in their pram and was going to shoot me in the head. Like, that's amazing. Like, you know what I'm saying? All of my PTSD symptoms started to go and stuff like that. So actually, like, you just sleep one day and realize that you've slept, you know, and that you haven't got up every second of the night, and that you're not like shaken out of your sleep by the sound of a feather dropping. Do you get what I mean? It just happens one day. But all you need to do is to want that to happen.
Yeah.
Just don't give up hope of that happening. Just want that to happen. If you want that to happen, you'd be okay.
It's all about your mindset, your mind frame, and you want that. You want better for yourself. You want to. You don't want this old life anymore. You want to move forward, and as hard as it is, you don't give up. You keep going. You know, you find techniques. You distract yourself. You invest in a coach. You know, you do things to move forward. But yeah, it all starts with you wanting it, and you have to really want it. You know, and everybody deserves it. You have to feel that you deserve that as well. You have to feel you deserve you deserve more, and then you want more for yourself. And once you start to feel like you deserve it, it is honestly, you'll get there. You'll get there with some time, but you will get there.
Yeah. And you know what? I think for me, it got to a point when it came to hope. I just thought to myself, okay, if I don't hold on to hope, then I've got nothing. Because literally I had nothing. Do you get what I mean? I had nothing. No drive, no motivation, no self-esteem, no confidence. I didn't look good, feel good. Do you get what I mean? I had nothing. So it was like, that's it. I just had that one thing. And all I would keep on praying is, get me through another day. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Get me through another day. Get me through another day. And that was in the beginning, and then it would change after that to get me through today and just let me cry like 7 times only. Do you get what I mean? 7 times. Give me an hour or 2. Do you get what I mean? Where I'm just normal. Like, don't let me cry over everything. And then I would get 7 times. I'm like, okay. And then I remember towards the end of it, it would be like, I would get to like all the way to like 10:30, 11 at night. And I'm like, oh my God, I haven't cried. And my head would hit the pillow and I'm like, oh no, I'm crying again. Do you get what I mean? Because I would just still be in that kind of mode. But at least I would get through the whole day. And then there was a time where there were days, and then it was weeks, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of good, you know. But in all honesty, it never would have happened if I would have kept that kind of contact, and I hadn't been so strict with me removing myself from that situation. So, like, if you have a child with these people, if you can get a mediator involved, do it. You know, do it, because you just don't need the headache.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I know people that use their parent as their mediator to communicate. They don't directly talk to the person, or they'll just use email, they'll just use text message, they won't talk to them directly. Or someone else gets involved and just does the interactions between. But yeah, no contact is essential. Minimum contact is essential in these situations.
And you know what? I watched something the other day, and I think I'll just say this, and like, maybe we'll use it to close. And I'm hoping that we can get this woman on our show. But I was watching something last night where they're doing reconstruction of bodies, like when you have scars and stuff like that. There was a woman on there who had loads of different scars, like 9 different scars, and turned out there were gunshot wounds, right? And her narcissistic sociopath, I think more than narcissistic, ex had shot her 9 times. Yeah. When she woke up, he shot her 9 times. Then he shot himself. Yeah. He went upstairs and then he shot himself, and then she blanks out, doesn't know anything else. She wakes up. He's gone. When he'd went upstairs, you know what he had done? Shot both of her children and then killed himself. She'd woke up after being shot 9 times, having to lost 2 children, and had to watch their funeral from a hospital bed. And why I'm speaking about this is not to scare people, but just to say to people, don't underestimate these narcissists, okay? Don't take it for any type of joke, any type of something that, oh, he's just a narcissist, it's not a serious thing. Narcissists have 0 empathy, 0, which means they can quite easily do things like that. Because the only thing that stops us from doing things like that is our empathy, is our feeling. we will feel bad. We know it's not the right thing to do. And I'm not saying that I'm putting it in the same bracket. That woman's story is horrific. But in the same way someone can sleep with a million people behind your back, or one person for many years and feel absolutely no remorse for it, it's the same lack of empathy in them as in that person that I've just explained to you. So please don't take it as something like, oh yeah, they only cheated. Look deeper behind it. The reason why they were able to do that and are able to talk to you in the way that they do with no remorse, no closure, no sincere apology is because they have zero empathy. And think about how far someone could go that has zero empathy. There is no limit. There's no limit to how far they can go. So please, 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 when you discover that you're dealing with a narcissist, take it seriously. When you have had that courage to leave that relationship, I know that there's a part of you in your mind that's like, it wasn't that bad, and you know, maybe I can get over this, and maybe I can get over that. But I want you to really, really sit there and think about what loving someone with no empathy really means, and how much worse that could have got for you had you stayed. How much worse?
Absolutely.
Because the only difference between one narcissist and another in terms of how far they will go, it is about what they want to do. One person wants to cheat, another person wants to take their children's lives. It's about their desire. It isn't about that person doesn't have the capability to do it. But as soon as you have no empathy, the capability for you to do something, you can do anything. You can do absolutely anything. So yeah, please, 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 please take it seriously. And please understand how much of a great job you have done and saving your future self by getting out now, you know?
It's definitely about asking yourself those questions. It's asking yourself, like, where would I have been if I had stayed? You know, and if we ask ourselves those questions, God, if I'd stayed, I honestly don't think I would be here. I honestly don't think I would be here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if I had stayed. So that's a scary, scary thought. So you don't want to find out, you know. Yeah. So it's all about asking yourselves those questions, and like Bianca said, looking behind things, looking into things on a deeper level. Like, if this person can do this, I truly think they could have killed me one day. Sometimes I get scared because I'm like, oh my God, like I slept next to this person. They could have done anything. Like, thank God I'm out of that situation. I'm away from that person. I'm safe, you know. Really about asking yourself those questions and thinking deeper into things and understanding what's really happening. Because again, with the gaslighting, they're going to play it down. They're going to act like this is normal, especially if you're surrounded by people where, you know, this behavior is normal, or you grew up in a household where this behavior might be normal. This might be like your normality. It might not be anything to you, but when you really look at the situation and you look at what abuse is and you define it and you see how it affects your brain, your body, your soul, that's when you really see what this person is really doing to you, you know. And it's not a situation you can ever stay in, you know. You have to get out of it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think on that note, that's a good note to close on. Thank you so much for everyone who commented today, shared your experience. But as people watch this back, they'll be able to know that they're not alone, and that's exactly why we're doing this for. Please do tune in as well, you know, next week. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll get notified every time we go live or upload new content. Share it as well. Share with a friend. Get other people to subscribe. You know, the more, just like we popped up in someone's feed today, and hopefully been really helpful. We want to pop up in more people's feeds because we are literally on here to save as many people as we can from narcissism and to eradicate the shame that comes along with actually being with them in the first place. So thank you so much for joining. And please drop a comment and a like on the actual YouTube as well, so like out of the live chat, and make sure you join us next week as well.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.